Hello, this is Chris, and it is that time again, folks. It is time for a brand new Star Wars reaction video. This went up a matter of minutes ago, like 5 or 10 minutes ago. I just got done watching the live stream for day 2 of Star Wars The Last Jedi panel at Star Wars Celebration, and this is my first time watching the trailer. You don't know how difficult it was watching that stream, having the trailer come on. I didn't expect it to come on the stream. I don't think it did that last year with Rogue One. I left the room, came back in, and then they played the trailer again, so I walked straight back out. So you're going to be getting my first time reaction to this trailer. I'm not going to make this introduction long. I'm going to get straight to the trailer now, and I'll talk much more about it afterwards. And in typical Star Wars reaction video fashion, I will most likely be watching this trailer twice to try and process everything, because the first time I watch it, it's just this mad experience of trying to make sense of everything I'm seeing. So we're going to watch the trailer together now. I'm going to talk much more about it afterwards. So I'm going to click play now. It's always the Force theme.
Just breathe. Now, reach out. What do you see?
Light. Darkness. A balance.
It's so much bigger.
Oh, it's the Kung Fu training, the cliff edge, the Jedi training.
I only know one truth.
Oh my god.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Jesus Christ. God, I could barely handle that. And I know I wasn't, I was just watching that in silence, just trying to process it. We're watching that again. We're watching that again right now. I'll give initial impressions first, though. By God, what an incredible opening trailer. I'm so overwhelmed. I never know how to start these Star Wars reaction videos. I guess I'll start off with what I thought of, well, not the entire saga. Overall, you know my thoughts on that, but more importantly, Force Awakens. I've gone on record before and said that I don't care for The Force Awakens, and my opinions on that movie haven't changed one iota. I was really let down by that movie. I think a lot of people now are coming forward with criticisms more. I know a lot of people still love that movie, and hey, if you do, that's fair enough. I'm merely giving my own opinions here. I really didn't like the fact that it was more or less narratively and structurally a direct remake of A New Hope. I would have liked to have seen something new. Unfortunately, this was just the case, with 30 years passing with the actors. The most interesting part of that story was the stuff that was referred to that happened in the interim between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and I didn't find the story that The Force Awakens was telling to be particularly original or compelling in any way, shape or form. I really didn't like any of the new characters either, and I don't want this to be an incredibly negative reaction video. I'm merely giving my opinions on The Force Awakens, so I was tentatively looking forward to Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi, and I mean, it's a Star Wars film, of course I'm going to be hyped for it. I'm going to be hyped for every single one of these things that come out, but my expectations were lowered significantly. I do really like Rogue One, so it was nice that that was a placeholder there, but in terms of continuing these characters, I really just didn't feel like I'd be connected with them. But I mean, you can see from my reaction here that I'm still completely invested in it, and even with Star Wars, through the good and the bad and the not so great, you just roll with the punches, and if you're a Star Wars fan, you stay true to it all the way through. So what I can take from this, they've already said this, the director Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, and all the cast members involved have said that this is going to be a lot darker than the other one, and I mean, that's such a cliched term now, darker, grittier, whatever, and that's a quality that everyone brings up about Empire Strikes Back, is that it takes these characters from the original film and it challenges them more psychologically, physically, and we get to understand more about these characters and see them evolve, and that looks, from this trailer at least, looks like exactly what we're going to get. And I just want to see Disney take more chances with these films. I want to see them go in this new direction, which I'm hoping I want to see Disney go in this new direction and bring to the table some new stuff. We've got new vehicles in this as well. It almost reminded me of like the pod race sequence. Almost, it's like this barren wasteland with these vehicles trekking across it. I don't know if that's going to be the Resistance. I don't know if that's going to be the First Order. When I did see the red smoke, I initially thought that might be the First Order because the red is an emblem of that faction. But I mean, this could just be like a random planet. This could be like another type of pod racing thing. If it is another type of pod racing, then I'm going to be kind of miffed because, again, that's not really bringing anything new to the table. Or it could literally just be transporting our heroes from one corner of the planet to another on their new adventure. This is all speculation at the minute. The fascinating stuff from this as well was Rey's opening speech, and I am going to get to the trailer again in a minute, and I'm going to give it another watch to process the dialogue. She talks about the balance of the Force, and we can hear the voice of Luke Skywalker training her up and saying, like, what do you see, what do you feel? And she immediately says the light, and then she says the dark as well. And there's been theories out there since day one when Rey was in The Force Awakens, and we see that she is this all-powerful character and seemingly no training whatsoever. Will she have a tendency towards the dark side? Maybe this trilogy will be Rey falling to the dark side and Kylo coming back from the dark side to the light, because you could see that conflict in him in The Force Awakens, regardless of the fact if he killed Han Solo or not. There was definitely that conflict to the character, and the scenes where he was struggling with his identity to see if he is inherently a good guy or a bad guy was some of the most fascinating stuff in Force Awakens, so I'm sure we're going to get more of that. There was that great shot there with a lightsaber in the camera, which I might use as the thumbnail for this video. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to see which shot is my favourite throughout this trailer, but I think we're going to see a lot more of Rey. Daisy Ridley kind of brought that up in the panel as well. She couldn't give anything away, obviously, nothing major, but she did highlight the fact that we are going to understand more about her character. I'm sure we're going to learn whether she is a Skywalker, whether she is a Kenobi, and there's all theories out for that too. And the poster as well, and I'll probably put a picture up of the poster here if it's on Google. I really hope it is. I expect it would be at this point. And I don't want to read too much into this because this is just a very simple poster, but how the poster looks, obviously the colour scheme, it's red, it's dark side, you've got connotations of rage and revenge, and if we think back to the original poster for when it was originally called Revenge of the Jedi, that was a bright red poster, and you immediately pick up on the tone for that. So it is interesting that they're going with that tone in the second entry of the film, and just how the picture's framed as well. You've got Rey holding the lightsaber aloft, and it reminds me of the original theatrical poster for A New Hope, so maybe that could be a subtle clue as to whether Rey is going to be some relation to Skywalker, because she is striking the same pose. But the blade going up, and I think you've got Luke on one side and Kylo Ren on the other, so it's showing that duality, it's showing that divide. And even Mark Hamill said, and the last line of this trailer, and I really hope it isn't the case because I don't want to see Mark Hamill or Luke Skywalker fall to the dark side, because I love that ending of Return of the Jedi so much. But Mark Hamill said that when Rey meets him, maybe it's a kind of case that you shouldn't meet your heroes, you shouldn't meet your idols, because they might not be all you expect them to be. Now, I interpreted that as because he has been in isolation for so long, maybe he has given up completely, because he started this academy up, which led to Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren overthrowing it and destroying the academy, and then this has left Luke Skywalker in a lost place. He doesn't know what to do with his life, so he went into seclusion, and Rey might be this shining hope that's going to get him back into the game. So it might be that she's heard this name, Luke Skywalker, been revered throughout the years, and then she meets him and he's kind of this shell of his former self. Or it could be that Luke Skywalker may be tempted towards the dark side. I really don't know. We're going to watch the trailer again now, because I don't know what else I can talk about. Maybe I'll pick up on something else throughout this trailer, but what a great trailer this was. This was everything I wanted it to be and more. So we're going to watch the trailer again now. So I'll probably be talking more in this one, but I still want to listen to the dialogue. I'm expecting she's going to have some kind of force vision there, and that's why she's out of breath. That or the climb was really exhausting.
Breathe.
Just that beautiful landscape as well. Skellig.
Just breathe. Now, reach out. What do you see?
Light.
And the dark. So, I think that's the Kylo Ren mask cracked on the floor there. I'll talk more about that afterwards. I didn't even notice that the first time. I thought it was the Vader mask.
Balance.
It's so much bigger.
I love that shot. I just want to play like Mulan's I'll make a man out of you over that shot. That's it. Oh, okay.
I only know one truth.
Space battles as well. How could I forget to talk about that?
Jedi. To end.
See, a lot of trailers do this, and I mean that line of dialogue at the end there with Luke Skywalker where he says it's time for the Jedi to end. With the tone and the music and the font and everything like that, we're meant to assume that maybe Luke is tending towards the dark side. I think when we come to watch the movie, maybe that's just the case that he is that shell of a former self, as I was referring to earlier, and he's just given up all sense of hope, and he says that the Jedi should end. We had our day and it's long since gone, so I think that's probably what it's going to be in the film. I'd be heartbroken if he did turn to the dark side, so I really hope that isn't the case, because that ending line of Return of the Jedi, I'll never turn to the dark side, throws his lightsaber away, is one of my favourite moments in the Star Wars saga. So I looked at that, what I thought was a pod race sequence before, but if you look in the distance you can see a line of what looked like AT-AT walkers coming towards them, so I'm guessing that's the Resistance against the First Order with the AT-AT walkers. I really do want to see some new vehicles though, so it is nice that we're getting those vehicles trekking across that desert. But that being said, like, I now, don't get me wrong, I am never going to get to the stage where AT-ATs become boring. But, you know, we saw them in Rogue One, and I did mention even in then, I mean, they were cool in Rogue One, and they were AT-ACTs, I know, ACTs, I know there's a difference there, but they're essentially the same thing. And I did mention even then that maybe that would take away from some of the surprise of the Rebels seeing them for what I thought was the first time in Empire Strikes Back. And now we're getting them again. Like, I would like to see a whole fleet of new vehicles for the First Order. The thing I wanted to talk about the most from having watched the trailer again was the shattered Kylo Ren mask. And I think you can see the silver that goes around the eyes, so that's why I know it's Kylo Ren. When I did hear the Vader breathing, I thought it was the Vader mask, but that shows to me that he is not scared of hiding who he is anymore. The first film, he was trying to create this persona to be more like his grandfather, to be more like Vader. And this mask, and there's even the scene in the film where Rey says, like, take off the mask, and he takes it off. And I remember a lot of people being underwhelmed that it's like, oh, it's Adam Driver. But that was the point to the character, in that he is this unassuming, confused guy. Very much like Anakin in Episode 3, and the mask was just a facade. He was trying to create this big baddie persona for himself, and it looks like he's completely done away with that now. Also, the fact that he's got slashed up across the face, so he's going to have a badass scar in this movie, and under the leadership and guidance of Supreme Leader Snoke, he is going to be making that journey more towards the dark side, and maybe the next film will have that redemption of him, and it will kind of emulate again the original trilogy. Although I would like to see some new stuff. There are two shots in this trailer that I want to quickly just have a look at because I couldn't really make them out. It looked like a scene with Kylo Ren and R2-D2. Like, I swear to God I saw that. I'm going to look at this in real time now, so apologies folks why I skimmed through the trailer until I find it. So it looks like the Resistance base is getting destroyed as well, with a shot of Poe Dameron and the X-Wing blowing up. I really hope his X-Wing doesn't get blown up. It's one of my favourite vehicles. Let's have a look at this thing. Okay, so it's definitely R2-D2, and it's this flaming building in the background with all the rubble everywhere. Now, we know from the end of the last movie that R2-D2 went with Chewbacca and Rey to the island so she could begin her training, so clearly they get off the island at some point, which we knew they would anyway. But this, to me, and that especially the hooded figure, do you guys remember that shot from, I think it was the first trailer that came out for Force Awakens, not the teaser one with the quick little clips, the first official trailer. It looked like Luke Skywalker, and he reached out and put his hand on R2-D2. I think this is going to be a flashback sequence, and even the area around it looks similar. You've got the fire burning as well. I think this is going to be a flashback to show Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren destroying the Jedi Temple that he set up, so it's going to flesh out more of that backstory. It's a backstory I really wish we could have seen in the last movie, but even with the character of Maz Kanata, where she wouldn't tell us where that lightsaber came from. That's my biggest question, actually. That's what I want to see in this movie. I want to know how she got a hold of Luke's lightsaber from the end of Empire Strikes Back when it fell down that shaft in Bespin. Like, how the hell did she get a hold of that? I want to know. But this will be cool if we do get some flashback sequences, because I do think they need to flesh out and allude to what did happen to Luke. Maybe this will be in another kind of Force vision that Rey has, and maybe that follows the out of breath sequence. Pure speculation at this point. And there was one more shot which did look like Captain Phasma, possibly. I can't tell. Again, it looks like a flaming hangar. I don't know if this is going to be the new villain with Benicio del Toro, because we still haven't seen him. They've kept him very much under wraps. From a distance, it almost looks like Kylo Ren. It could be the Kylo Ren mask before he takes it off that we see earlier in the trailer. So, yeah. I love this trailer. It was everything I wanted to be. It's got me excited. Not that I wasn't already excited, but as I said, because I didn't completely care for The Force Awakens, my expectations were kind of lowered, but I guess the hype train for me with Star Wars is unavoidable. It's always going to happen. And just Star Wars Celebration's a fantastic experience. I end all these videos saying exactly the same thing. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. This looks awesome. This looks like what I wanted the next natural progression of this series to be. Yeah, so that'll do it for my incredibly rambly and speculation-filled reaction video. Be sure to comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought of this trailer. What are you looking forward to in this film? Are there any things in the trailer that I didn't talk about that you picked up on? Any speculation, theories, anything like that, please do drop me a comment, because I love having a conversation with you guys. In terms of what's coming up on the channel, we'll have more movie reviews, we'll have more content for every single day of Star Wars Celebration. I'm jumping on a video later tonight with Tom to give our roundup video on this panel and the entire day's worth of panels as well. Tomorrow, George will be jumping on a solo video to cover day 3, and then me and George will be jumping on one to conclude Star Wars Celebration on the Sunday. We'll also have a review for Fast and Furious 8 over the weekend, so please hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you click that bell icon at the side so you get a notification every time we bring out some new content. And until the next video, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.